You've probably seen in the headlines that dire wolves are back. A biotech company says they've brought them out of extinction using ancient DNA. Now, are these actually dire wolves? Kind of? Sort of? Not really. I'm going to break it all down for you. And we're also going to learn about dire wolves themselves. Well, since we got some Jurassic Park stuff going on in this episode, I think my catchphrase works here. Nature is random and chaotic. So here's the deal. A company called Colossal Biosciences recently announced the birth of 3 genetically modified wolf pups. Romulus, Remus, Khaleesi. They use something called CRISPR. It's basically a tool that lets scientists edit DNA, like a cut and paste function for genes. You know, science. They took gray wolf DNA and used CRISPR to splice in some genes from dire wolves, trying to bring back some of dire wolf traits. Now, Colossal isn't just some random startup company. They're a Texas-based biotech company that's been making headlines for trying to bring back extinct animals. Their whole thing is de-extinction, and this dire wolf story is their latest headline. The result? Puppies that supposedly have dire wolf traits. But let's be real here, these are gray wolves in dire wolf cosplay. These are not actual dire wolves, unfortunately. So let's back up. What is a dire wolf exactly? Dire wolves were not just big gray wolves. Their official name is Inosion dias, which literally translates to terrible wolf of unusual dog. Maybe not the best name. They split off from the ancestors of gray wolves about 5 million years ago. In 2021, scientists reclassified the dire wolf and put it into its own genus, Inosion. Now that means for over 100 years, we thought that they were just big wolves. Turns out they're not even wolves at all, technically. I know, it gets complicated. Now they evolved in North and South America, and they are built differently than gray wolves are. They were stockier, shorter legs, bigger heads, and larger jaws with a stronger bite, with a large menu of animals to hunt. Now they do look like gray wolves, which is why scientists were stumped for so long. But it turns out it was just convergent evolution. Convergent evolution, when 2 predators are evolving in similar environments and they end up looking alike. Genetically though, dire wolves are as different from gray wolves as a tiger and a leopard are, or even a human and a chimpanzee. So how do we know so much about dire wolves? Well, that's because of the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles. You might remember it from the movie Last Action Hero. Such a good movie. And I have still never been to the La Brea tar pits. I need to go sometime. The La Brea tar pits are super interesting in that most of the fossils they have found there are from predators. Now the theory is that predators would most likely go after a prey that was stuck in the tar, and since dire wolves were pack animals, they would most likely all go after that one prey item, and then all of them would get stuck. There are over 4,000 fossils from dire wolves in the La Brea tar pits. And thanks to these fossils, we know about how they were built, how powerful their jaws were, and how they hunted. Well, you might wonder what happened to dire wolves to make them go extinct. And they went extinct about 10,000 years ago-ish. Now there's a lot of theories on why they went extinct. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Ice Age ended and megafauna disappeared. And dire wolves, unlike gray wolves and coyotes, they were not able to adapt and ultimately went away. I think it's so weird to think that almost all the animals that are alive today were around back then as well. Like there were jaguars living in the same areas as saber-toothed cats. So weird to think about. But here's a fun fact. Even though dire wolves lived alongside gray wolves and coyotes, dire wolves never interbred with them at all. Genetically, they were just too far apart. Okay, well, it's that time in the episode where we're going to take a quick minute to send it to this guy, this stud muffin. This is Dave, the co-host of Force of Nature podcast, and he's going to give us a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by... For millions of years, trees have stood against the onslaught of multiple bugs, creatures, the sun, and even storms because they hold the key to nature's most incredible armor, bark. Tired of beat-up shins while playing soccer? Nothing a little bark can't fix. Want to have something more than cloth between you and an arrow? Try bark. Feel silly using only a lotion to protect you from the sun's rays? Try bark. Want to protect your feelings against bullies who think you're ugly? You need bark, nature's #1 protectant. Anything else is treason.
Wow! Thank you, Dave, and thank you, bark. And this isn't the only extinct animal that Colossal is working on bringing back. They're also working on woolly mammoths, dodo birds, the thylacine or Tasmanian tiger, as well as many critically endangered species that are still alive today. What would be awesome is if they brought back a saber-toothed cat. If they did, I would cover that day one. In fact, check out the new poster I made. Check it out. I designed this myself. I've even got this cool saber-toothed knife thing. I want to get a skull. Now that would be awesome. Now a lot of people may not even know what a direwolf is, and maybe they associate it with the direwolves from Game of Thrones. They were super awesome characters in that show. Probably a little too big, but my favorite was Ghost. Now, I love the thought about this de-extincting some animals. It's really cool and it's really ambitious. But I gotta be honest, we're not fully de-extincting any animals anytime soon. We just aren't there yet. Maybe in the future, though. However, it's exciting science, and it could lead to some very interesting things in the future. What do you think? Should we de-extinct some animals? Or are some things better left in the past? Let me know in the comments. And if you want even more long-form content, go ahead and check out Force of Nature podcast. We have over 130 episodes, and we have covered some Ice Age animals on the show before. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.